Hello everyone. Okay, today's video will be pretty interesting. I felt that this will be a very interesting topic to discuss, and I titled this video "How Learning Languages Changes the Mind." How it changes the mind. Now, first I should say I'm going to talk about this from the standpoint of Americans. Since I'm American, I grew up here. I know how people here think. So I can't speak for other countries and whatnot, but if you guys, let's say if you're from UK and this is similar over there, then post a video response. I think it will be very interesting for everyone to watch. So the first thing is the way Americans think. Now, you have, like most of the time here, we are ethnocentric, and those of you who are Americans understand what I'm saying. That most of the time we think that America is better than just it's the best country. It's better than any other country. We're better than everybody else. That's ethnocentrism. So this is how we think a lot of the times. Now you do have exceptional people. Those people who have taken an interest in other cultures, other languages, and they've become sensitive towards those cultures. They're no longer thinking in an ethnocentric way. So yeah, that's how it is here. And I wouldn't say that it's the people's fault. I think it's I would blame it on the system, the education, how we were educated. Like growing up as children, you know, they're teaching us that we're the best, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best. We see stuff on TV that's telling everybody else in other countries that we're the best. This is the best place. You need to be here. This is ethnocentrism. Okay. Another thing is no respect. Like most of the time, a lot of Americans here don't have respect for other cultures. Like, I'll say, like, let's see, you will have like foreigners trying to speak English. Like, let's say they try to speak English, but they have like an accent. They sound weird. A lot of us will be quick to like make fun of them or laugh at them without thinking about the whole picture or looking at the whole picture, that they're actually putting in effort to learn the English language. So that's a sign of no respect for their efforts, no respect for what they do in terms of rituals and whatnot, certain aspects of the culture. Quick to judge people. Another thing, like we tend to like judge people based off the color of their skin, their ethnicity, and the way they talk, the way they dress. Like if you dress a certain way here, people already have preconceptions about you. If they see you dressed a certain way, like I can dress up a certain way, people don't know who I am, but they, based off of how I'm dressed, they will automatically assume that, oh, he's this type of person. Not even, you know, they don't even know me, but they just say, yeah, that's how he is. That's how they think in their mind. So this is we're quick to judge people here. Another thing is all languages are the same, pretty much. Like I was talking about this before. Like before I started getting into languages, when I saw an Asian person speak a language, I'll say like Laos, I will automatically assume they're speaking Chinese. If I see someone from Iran or India or Iran, they speaking Farsi, I'm on automatically assume they're speaking Arabic. If I see someone, Indian person speaking in Hindi or Gujarati or any of those Indian languages, I'm on automatically assume that they're speaking Arabic. Stuff like that, people don't understand. And yeah, that's it. All languages sound the same. So this is just ignorance again, and we won't know until we learn. Now, how does learning languages change this? Well, first of all, you have more respect towards the culture, as I mentioned before. Ethnocentrism or no respect, you start to become more respectful towards those cultures. You start looking at the whole picture of things. Like you say, okay, that's why they do that. That's part of their culture. Okay, I understand. You know, instead it's like, oh, they shouldn't be doing that. You know, that's nasty or something like that. You become more respectful towards that culture. Then you become sensitive. I know for myself, become sensitive towards cultures in general, like about certain things. Like, for example, like I remember, well, Chinese people, like normally when you, like let's say you go to a restaurant and you just listen to Chinese people talk. When they talk, if you notice, when they talk really loud. They talk really loud and fast, and you will assume that they're upset, but it's not. That's not what it is. They're not upset. That's just how they talk. And you know, before I started getting into the languages, learning Chinese and whatnot, I thought they were like, wow, they look like they're upset about something. But once I started getting into the languages, I start to realize that, wow, you know, that's how they talk. Like they talk loud like that. That's just how they speak. They're not upset. So it's just things like that you start to get sensitive towards. Another thing is like jokes. Like I remember a long time ago, I had a buddy. His girlfriend, I think his girlfriend bought him a Christmas card, and it was something about Cantonese. They were making like jokes about the Cantonese language, because you know in Cantonese they have a lot of words that sound like swear words, like fuck, all that stuff. And they were making jokes about it, and they showed me because they knew that I was into the languages and whatnot. So I guess they thought maybe I would take an interest in that. But when they showed me that, I didn't think it was funny. Like I felt kind of like, I don't know, I was real sensitive about that. I didn't think it was funny at all. So that's what I mean by becoming sensitive towards the cultures and the languages. What's another thing? Let's see, the way people speak, accents, I talked about that. Like when you hear people, like foreigners, when they try to speak English, if they sound weird, you take in consideration that they're learning the language. So you're like, okay, at least he's taking the effort to learn his language. He knows another language. I only know one language. At least this person is taking the effort to learn the English language. So you look at it like that. And another thing, like looking at the whole picture, like me, I was never this type of person. I never looked at the whole picture. For example, I will use my wife. She, like, my wife is from, you guys know, she's from Taiwan. And she wasn't born here. So she, her family, they can't speak English. So she's the only one in her family that can speak English, except for, well, her niece is learning English. But other than that, no one in her family can speak a lick of English. So anyway, she came here, came here, went to school, graduated and whatnot. She didn't really know English that well when she first came here. And she had to struggle. And she to this day, she would say things like she's not satisfied with her English because she feels that she doesn't sound like a native speaker, like, because she still has an accent when she speaks. And I always tell her that, her English is really good, considering, she's been here for a while, and she can use English at her job and whatnot. I mean, she's fluent in English. Her English is great, although she has that accent. I told her that's not important. Having an accent is not important as long as you can, communicate with the people. And I like to look at the whole picture. I look at well, first of all, she came from a family that can't speak a lick of English. So there has to be something. She made that big decision to move to America, to study here, graduate, and not knowing English. She basically, how can I put this? She was in Taiwan. She studied English in school, whatnot, but she wasn't really in the battlefield. So she went, by moving here to America, this was the battlefield for her. So she came here, she, went to school, graduated, whatnot, and ended up getting a job where she could use English. So she accomplished a lot. And I tell her that, she shouldn't really think about that accent thing. She needs to look at the whole picture. She didn't even have to be here and speak English. She didn't have to be here. So that's what I mean by looking at the whole picture. So I look at that, she came from a family that couldn't really speak English, and she came here, stayed for a while, and now she can speak English. And it's a good thing. So yeah, that's what I just want to talk about. That learning language, how learning languages changes the mind, and that's why I always like to encourage people to learn other languages, because you just, especially here, like for Americans, like we take things for granted. Like, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's just sad. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think. If you guys are living in other countries and this sounds similar to your country, the people there, make a video response. Let's talk about it. I want to know how you guys feel about this, how, you know, language is changing the mind. Because the language sure changed my mind, especially, you know, learning multiple languages. You learn about all these different people. They all think differently. And you start to become sensitive, and it changes you, changes the way you think. So that's it for this rambling video, and I look forward to some video responses and some comments. Thanks for viewing.